Hello, my name is FPL Pickle and welcome back to another video. So today we have my Game Week 9 team selection video. So what we'll do today is talk about how my Game Week went in Game Week 8, talk about how my team is lining up for Game Week 9 and also discuss some dilemmas that I have ahead of the upcoming deadline. So if you enjoyed today's video, please give the video a like and also consider subscribing as well. I'd really appreciate the support. So yeah, before we dive into the team selection for this game week, I just wanted to briefly talk about how my game week went in Game Week 8. And I did briefly go over this in my previous video, my Pickles preview video. So if you're interested in that and also some topics about some players that I put on for the upcoming game week, then please check that out. It'll be in the link down below in the description. So in Game Week 8, I activated my wildcard chip and I would say it went pretty successfully. I got 77 points overall in Game Week 8 and that gave me a nice healthy green arrow from 2.6 million to 1.8 million. So we're heading in the right direction. There's obviously still a long way to go, but I'm hoping that with the team that I've built with my wildcard, I'm hoping that in the next few weeks we will start to climb up the ranks even more. So like I said, I've already gone over this, so I won't spend too long on it. I suppose everything went fairly well. The main issue, I suppose, in my 15 players I do own is the goalkeeper swing. It was quite unfortunate. I mean, Dubravka getting a 9-pointer, I thought that although it looked very nice on paper, I thought Burnley Leeds, they'll both score goals. And, well, it seems like based on the data, Leeds really should have scored. And I guess if you had Burnley defenders in your bench boost, for example, then fair play. Or if you started Dubravka, fair play. But it was a little bit lucky, I suppose. But it is what it is. It's fine. I'm still happy that I have Pope. And they conceded less than 1 XG anyway. So I'm happy to have him moving forward. But yeah, having triple Arsenal feels very good. Especially double Arsenal defence. Really needed that in my team. I'm never going to make that mistake again. Especially Gabriel, what a monster. And even in the Champions League doing really well. So happy to have him. And even Saka getting a 7-pointer without any attacking returns. What's that about? But anyway, we'll definitely take that. Of course, Haaland smashing it as per usual with a brace. Very happy to have him. And I think I'm happy that I stuck with the Haaland only kind of structure at the moment. We'll see how Liverpool get on. But obviously at the moment, they're slacking a little bit. They just seem quite off it, so I'm happy with that decision for now. Voltemada looking good. Didn't do much last night in the Champions League, recording this on Wednesday, but you know, it's fine. I think moving forward he's going to continue to be a good option. It was a very cheeky goal, the little heel back kick there, so I'm very pleased with him. I guess the main downside is João Pedro, and I suppose thinking, do you want to keep him? Do you want to hold him on to him for a little bit longer? It's obviously very frustrating to see that he's still continuing to not really get any chances, no shots really. So hopefully moving forward, we will get something from him. But he is, you know, hanging on by a thread a little bit. Even though I just put him in my wild card, I kept him on my wild card. It's Sunderland at home, and I feel like if he doesn't do anything after that, then maybe he'll be on the chopping block. So yeah, that was that. And of course, Enzo didn't start. Xhaka came on, pleased with that. He seems like a very nice, cheap attacker to have. So yeah, overall, very happy with how it went. Obviously, you know, it's a wild card, so I'm kind of aiming to roll my transfers from now. So I'll show you how the team is lining up for Game Week 9. You have to let me know what you think. So starting off with the defence, we've got a sea of home fixtures here, which is very nice. So we've got Pope in goal against Fulham at home. We've got Gabriel and Timber against Crystal Palace at home. And then we have Senesi against Nottingham Forest at home. In terms of the goalkeepers, I feel like in terms of benching decisions, that's one of the main issues I'm having. I don't know whether it's because of what happened last week and how well Burnley did to, you know, keep Leeds from scoring. But Wolves away isn't the worst fixture in the world. I mean, Wolves have been struggling quite a lot. They're lacking creativity. JSL's clearly struggling with that Achilles still. And so I do wonder whether starting Dubravka could be the play. However, Newcastle, despite conceding 2 last game week, defensively they've still been quite good. I know that it's, you know, a bit of a blow with Livramento being out injured. But like I mentioned, they still only conceded less than 1 XG in that game. And I think with Fulham as well, because of their injury to Anderson, that's quite a blow for them. And, you know, their back line, in terms of the options that they have, is quite restricted. So I do wonder whether they'll try to kind of hold back a little bit rather than go forward. We'll see, I'm not sure. But I do feel that there is a chance that Newcastle, especially at home, keep a clean sheet here. So It's quite a difficult one for me, and I'm still umming and ahhing about it, and I could still change my mind before the deadline, but I'm slightly leaning more towards Pope at the moment. I think the data suggests that, or the data's predicting that Pope will do better in this game anyway, so maybe it's best to just back the home game and the better defense and go with Pope. So that's that for now. In terms of the defenders themselves, I think there's less of a debate around them. I mean, you could argue that Rodon against West Ham at home's quite a decent fixture, but I don't know. I don't really want to start Leeds defenders unless I have to. So I think, and knowing how strong Bournemouth defence are and Arsenal defence, of course, I think I'm happy with the three that I've got up there. Of course, just with any week, I think double Arsenal defence, I'm going to start them no matter what. But Crystal Palace at home is a home game, which is good, and we've seen how strong how strong Arsenal have been defensively. But Crystal Palace isn't the easiest fixture in the world by any means, and I am interested to see how this game will go, especially because I do have a Crystal Palace attacker in my team, which is not ideal, but it is what it is. So yeah, that's that. And then Senesi nearly got sent off in Game Week 8. I benched him, so I was like, oh, well, you know, I've probably been quite jammy if he just gets sent off, but I was hoping he won't get sent off because I, kind of need him for this game week. So, yeah, he got a yellow, he got away with it. Happy to have him against Nottingham Forest at home. Forest obviously struggling. Ange Postecoglou's been sacked, and now we've got Sean Dyche coming in, so that'll be interesting. Forest will probably get a little bit better defensively now, I suppose. But yeah, I think Senesi for this game is very strong. It could easily get an attacker return, despite me saying what I just said, and probably a clean sheet as well. Forest did give it a good go, though, against Chelsea, so we'll see. But he'll at the very least get DEFCON, because we know that's what Senesi's good for. And Richards on the bench against Arsenal away. It's just, Richards was good for last game week. He did slightly better than Senesi, but yeah, against Arsenal away, I don't really want to start him if I can help it. So those are defenders. Let's now talk about the midfielders I've got. So here are my midfielders, and you can see that I've gone with a 3-4-3 formation once again. So we have Saka against Crystal Palace at home, Semenyo against Nottingham Forest at home, Enzo against Sunderland at home, and then, Sarr against Arsenal away. It sounded good until then. Now, you know what? It's fine. Saka, of course, we saw that even without any attacking returns, he got a 7-pointer. I don't know, I just never thought of Saka to get DEFCON, but yeah, smashed it. He was the man of the match in that game. It was incredible, to be fair. So, although Crystal Palace at home isn't the easiest fixture for Arsenal, I could see him doing well here, and with the pen situation, we still don't know. Arsenal, of course, nearly got a pen against Fulham. Didn't get it in the end, although it was a little bit questionable, I suppose, in my opinion. But yeah, I think based on what happened, it probably is the case that Saka and Gyökeres are going to share them. That wouldn't entirely surprise me, but seeing how upset Saka was with the foul, and he was clinging onto the ball as well, so I think if they had been given the pen, I think Saka would have been the one to take it. And I feel fairly confident that it is going to be Saka taking them for the most part. We'll see. But I'm happy out of all the Arsenal attackers to have Saka in my team. So happy with that. And then Semenyo, again, is an absolute beast. Got an assist in Game Week 8. It could have been 2. It was a fairly lucky assist. Maybe not one of his louder games, I suppose, but he did well. And I think against Nottingham Forest at home, Forest are obviously struggling, new management, it's a bit of a mess over there. So I could see him doing very, very well, especially at home. Because of that reason, because it's a bit of an easier fixture, this is why I have put my vice captain on Semenyo. Also, I'm recording this on Wednesday, and there's a chance that Semenyo might go up in price, so it might be by the time that this video is out that he's 8.1 million. I just wanted to point that out. So yeah. And then Enzo, Sunderland at home. Of course, he didn't even play in Game Week 8, which was a little bit of a shame. I was happy enough to get Xhaka off the bench, but I'm of course hoping with Xhaka now having Chelsea away that I don't really have to have that sub on personally. We've seen that he is now back in training, which is positive. Of course, with the international break, we thought maybe it's more of an international break injury. They've mentioned sinusitis in his knee. Hopefully, it has improved and that this little bit of a break has helped him. There's a Champions League, game tonight, and I think he's been seen on the graphic. I'm recording this before all of that has happened, so I can't really comment on whether he's there or not. I'm hoping he is. If he isn't, then that of course may have an impact on what happens from now. But I'm hoping that he's there. He's at least on the bench. I'm kind of hoping he doesn't play, really. But if he's there, then that will make me feel a lot more confident about starting him, because Sunderland at home is a very good fixture, and if he is on pens, that's just fantastic, and I'll be very, very happy to have him for that game. So fingers crossed with that one. And then finally, Sarr against Arsenal away. So not the best fixture to have him for, and I know a lot of people have been holding off having him until next game week, which is fair. I get it. But I think I just wanted to jump on him as soon as I could. And we've seen how strong Crystal Palace attack have been. Of course, Sarr didn't really do all that much in the game against Bournemouth. Played quite well though, despite that, and he did miss a big chance. So I do feel that he could get something in this game. I know that's not ideal when I've got double Arsenal defence, but in my Pickles preview video, I actually did predict that Sarr will get a goal against Arsenal. So check that out if you want to see that once again. But yeah, we'll see if that happens or not. We'll have to see. So overall, I'm fairly happy with that midfield. It feels strong enough, and there aren't too many gaps. I guess there's the likes of Fernandes, who I would maybe like to have here, or Edinburgh. But other than that, I'm pretty happy. So let's move on to the forwards and how they're looking. So here is the finished product. Here are the forwards. And of course, we've got lovely Erling Haaland against Villa away. Why Villa is a red fixture, I don't know. I suppose they kind of designed all this before the season started, but I'll be honest, I don't see this as a red fixture this game week. Villa, I'm so happy that they actually won in Game Week 8. I was very pleasantly surprised with that. But yeah, I think Haaland will be able to do something against Villa, and I just feel like out of all the options in my team, there's not really a standout other than that. I don't really want to take a risk on JP because he's not been performing really. We don't know whether Enzo's going to start. Saka's not got the best fixture in the world. So pretty happy. Going to keep it simple. Haaland captain. That's it. Nothing more said about that. And then Voltemada got a cheeky goal last game week. Was very, very nice. Didn't do all that much in the Champions League, but I feel really bad for Gordon owners actually, because I can see why people went for Gordon over Voltemada, because he's probably going to be on pens when, you know, he's on the pitch. But Gordon's minutes in the Prem don't seem quite so good, and it always seems in the Prem that he's not really doing all that much, and Voltemada seems to be the one that is doing something. So I'm happy that I made that choice, because I even said in my previous team selection, I feel like Voltemada's going to be the kind of player that will get something even when he's not playing that well. And so what a goal it was that he got. But I feel that with Fulham at home, especially because of that Anderson injury, I feel pretty confident with him. It's a nice home fixture. I'm happy with that. JP, on the other hand, he's the one, like I talked about earlier, who is on the chopping block a little bit. Of course, kept him on my wildcard because, well, the fixtures are incredible, right? Sunderland at home, you know, I should be feeling excited about it. But the past few games, you know, I've lost money on him now. I bought him for 7.6 and he's gone from like 7.8 to 7.5. Like he's dropping like a stone in price. And I see why, because he's just not getting any shots. He's isolated out there. It's a shame to see. It'd be interesting to see whether they play Guiu actually and then have JP in the 10. They were also talking about Delap possibly coming back, by the way. So that could be positive for JP, but for Enzo maybe quite so much. Although I don't really see them rushing Delap back. We'll see what the squad looks like tonight. But yeah, giving him one more chance, I think. The fixtures are so good though, it's like I don't want to drop him, but then, you know, we've seen the likes of Mateta getting hat-tricks. There are cheaper options like Welbeck getting braces, Thiago, you know, getting a goal and another one ruled out. So JP's not, you know, providing value for money at the moment. So, you know, he's got a bit of competition here, so he needs to start performing, otherwise he will be out after this game week. So yeah, this is the team. I am planning on rolling, got no money in the bank anyway, and because I've only got one free transfer, I just want to try and roll as much as I can before, you know, game weeks 12, 13, where we might want to start, you know, changing our team around a little bit. That's when Liverpool's fixtures start to get better, although of course the idea of getting Salah is less appealing right now, but we still need to prep for that. So That's my plan. That this is the team I'm hoping to go with ahead of the deadline. Hopefully it stays this way. Hopefully I don't have to make any last minute changes. If, to be honest, I haven't even prepped for that. If Enzo's like out, what do? I don't, I don't even know. I'd probably go NDI, to be fair. If I really needed to, I would probably go NDI, just so you know. But yeah, planning to roll. Like I said, the only issue where I'm kind of debating is the goalkeeper situation. And I suppose following on from that, there is, the kind of question of whether I could maybe bench boost this team. So what I'll do is show you what the bench boost looks like in a better graphic. I've just hit the mic, so sorry. What the what the bench looks like in a better graphic for game week 9, and also another week where I'm possibly thinking of bench boosting. Let's see. I'd be interested for you guys to know which one you prefer. So let's talk about that now. So I wanted to show you this because although last week I did talk about how game week 11 was the week that I was probably going to think about wildcarding, the more I look at it, the more I'm thinking, should I just get it out the way now? Because, anything can happen. We've seen the likes of Anderson getting injured, and that's having an impact on people's bench boosts, and I'm quite lucky that hasn't affected me. But, I look at game week 9 in the bench, and it's not the best by any means, but it's not too bad. And I don't feel it's crazily worse than game week 11. So I wanted to show it to you, just so that you could compare them side by side. And I'd just be really interested to know what you guys think about it. Do you think that game week 9 might be a better shout in terms of just getting it out the way? Maybe Xhaka having a slightly better fixture here, and maybe Dubravka having a slightly better fixture here as well, even though the colours don't suggest that. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I am tempted by it, but I do still quite like game week 11. I don't want you guys to feel manipulated. Senesi's one is technically red flagged, just like it is with Haaland. But I just don't feel like it's a red fixture, so I have changed it to a grey. I'm sorry. Pretend it's red if you want. But yeah, in game week 11, it would be Dubravka against West Ham away, Xhaka against Arsenal at home, Senesi against Villa away, and Rodon against Nottingham Forest at home. And while I suppose with game week 11, the main weakness is Xhaka, because of course, we've seen that Arsenal defence is incredibly good. But this is Xhaka's old team, and I like a bit of, narrative stuff. And I could see him easily getting DEFCON in this. So it might be a 4-pointer worst case scenario. So I don't know. I feel like Dubravka against West Ham away, we saw how poor West Ham were. I was so shocked at how badly they performed in game week 8. So I'd feel fairly confident with that. Senesi with Villa away, you might be wondering why he's on the bench in the first place, but Richards is Brentford at home. So I think out of the two, it's quite a difficult decision, but I'd probably bench Senesi. So it's quite a difficult decision there, whereas in game week 9, I'm happily having Richards on the bench because Arsenal away is not too good. And then Rodon against Nottingham Forest away, we could see that they improve under Sean Dyche, but they've got a long way to go. So, I don't know. It is quite a difficult one, and part of me is wondering whether to get it out of the way, but I think I do slightly prefer game week 11. Let me know what you guys think. I'd be really interested to hear which one you prefer out of the two. In all honesty, in terms of how they perform, there might not be a lot in it, to be fair. And we've seen with bench boost weeks that it can be so lucky. They're not the prettiest of benches either of these, but I spent ages trying to plan a pretty bench boost last season. And that bench ended up with, what was it, for Bruggen, Leicester at home or something. And they conceded right away. I had Asensio on it with 2 penalty misses. It was just an absolute disaster. I was trying not to swear there, I'm not gonna lie. It was an absolute disaster. So I'm not as bothered this time about making it look as pretty as possible, really. I just kind of want to get it out of the way, especially because we've got 2 of them this season. And I'll be honest, I don't enjoy this chip at all. So yeah, enough of me waffling. These are the 2 bench boosts that I might go for. Let me know which one you prefer. So there we have it, guys. That's my game week 9 team selection video. I made the video a bit shorter today. I didn't want to bore your head off with my waffling. But this is the team. I feel okay with it, fairly confident. The main decisions are going to be which goalkeeper I start and whether I activate the bench boost chip or not. I'm leaning more towards no at the moment, but I will continue to have a think about it because we've still got some time to go. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'm excited to see you all next week for my next Pickles preview video. Bye bye.